Hello. What up, internet? How you doing?
Discovery.
Hey, X. Nice. Nice. Coffee is likely being acquired. Okay, that was weird. You typed that like... Now that I have my coffee, I'm ready to watch launches. Nice little sus. Not a very difficult guess. You're not wrong. Zay, I read that thread. It appears our superiority has caused some controversy. It's a pretty funny thread. It's a good thread. It's a good thread. Adam, what's up, man? If only he said out of the Ford mug. Yeah, then that would be very, very strange. Very strange. So Centaur had an oopsie. Thomas, I read about that. Tori Bruno just came out and reported it. A Centaur structural testing article last night blew up on the test stand. Yeah, very interesting stuff. We do have a launch, and the launch will happen in a second, dudes. But, all right, some real nerd stuff is going to come at you here real quick. Where is it? It's the best spitter thread of the year. Yep. Oh, nice. I thought it'd be up here. Maybe it was a reply. Here we go. Okay, it's the first thing. Keeping you posted. During qualification is Centaur 5 structural article at Marshall Space Flight Center. The hardware experienced an anomaly. This is why we thoroughly and rigorously exercise every possible condition on the ground before flight. Investigation is underway, and Vulcan will fly when complete. So, that's going to delay Vulcan. That's going to delay Vulcan by a little bit. You guys always know how I sit here and sputter on and on about, like understanding what you made. That's really important. Some of the analysis was too far gone, meaning that okay, so a structural test article failing or experiencing an anomaly basically is like, what would be a good example? Putting an upper stage in a gigantic hydraulic press. That's how they test. That's how they do it. So they put the thing in a gigantic can crusher, and it seemed to have failed in a very, very, very extreme state. But that still counts as something that you didn't see that coming. I did not see that coming. So it failed under extreme structural load testing of various worst possible conditions. So they found something with Centaur's design that basically makes it pop in certain conditions. It's certain extreme conditions, but hey, that's still something that should be noted. That's how you rocket science. You don't say, oh, it failed, but those are extreme conditions. That's never going to happen. The second you say that is the second you go to launch the first one and the thing pops, because those extreme conditions just magically were found during the first launch, right? I did not expect you to be streaming right now. I guess we have a launch. We do have a launch. Good to note that it was testing beyond qualification. Yeah, Zay, absolutely. Yeah, that is important to understand. It is going to delay Vulcan a little bit, but not too much. Not too much at all. It's just some behavior that needs to be understood. And that's, like I said, that's how you rocket science. That's doing your homework. Tori Bruno does his homework. Be like Tori Bruno. Do your homework.
Discovery.
That's just quarter 4 financial results today. Ooh, neat. All right, here. Let's take a look. Yep. Literally a gigantic hydraulic press. That's what it is. And that, in fact, is a Centaur. A Centaur do be like that. Hey, Sleeper, 21 months. AP, morning, man. It's late over there, dude.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Asteroid, 21 months, thank you. How does Vulcan Centaur thrust compared to Falcon Heavy? I have to look it up. Falcon Heavy makes about 27 meganewtons off the pad, give or take. Somewhere around there. Yeah, Vulcan does not make that much. Vulcan makes 5,000 with the two BE4s, and then if you have GEM63XLs in the VC6 configuration, you're so 6 times 2 is 12. 13 was 5, about 18 meganewtons. But see, here's the thing. Vulcan is more comparable to Falcon 9 than Falcon Heavy. I would compare it more to Falcon 9. And if you compare it to Falcon 9, it's pretty good. It's pretty damn good, considering it packs a punch. So, like, here, look. Rocket comparison. Let's see if we can find one with Vulcan in it. There we go. Here's one with Vulcan in it. This is a Blue Origin graphic here, but see this right here? Look at Vulcan. Look at it. It's smaller than a Falcon 9. Way smaller. And Vulcan...
Discovery, go at throttle up.
How much can Vulcan do to low Earth orbit? Hello, Centaur. Let's use VC6. Just, yeah, it can move more. Yeah, with the 6 SRBs, that thing can move 27,000. It can move... It's pretty damn comparable to Falcon 9. That's pretty much on the money. That's pretty cool, considering how tiny it is. That thing packs a real punch right there. Hey, need backup. Tier 292. Fuel is stored in the balls. It's true. It's true. Yeah, it can have 6 GEM63s on it. Yep. SpaceX is live.
Called the Proliferated Warfighter Space Architecture, or
right.
PWSA for short.
PWSA. Hey, Evsta. Okay.
Delivering space-based capabilities to support terrestrial missions through development, fielding, and operation of the PWSA.
Okay, yeah, probably missed some key information about what this satellite is. So this is Tranche 0 Flight 1. This is a constellation of satellites. Yeah, USA. We got to do ad time, though, now. All right, we're going to run an ad so nobody gets one. Nobody gets pre-rolls during the launch. No more goofy Atlas SRB pattern? Yeah. Man, we're way behind. Jeez. There we go.
Going up, but now we're also heading horizontally away from the launch pad. It's what we call a gravity turn. The rocket typically needs to go around 17,500 miles per hour horizontally in order to avoid being pulled back down to Earth and get into orbit.
2 for missile warning
to help demonstrate this concept, imagine firing a cannon from a really high mountain. The cannonball will arc, and then gravity will pull it down to Earth. As you increase the power, the cannonball will land farther and farther away. Eventually, if you could continue to increase the power, the cannonball will be going so fast that it ends up in free fall around the Earth. Gravity is still pulling down on the cannonball, but it's going so fast that it never hits the ground. This arc, which constantly misses Earth, is called an orbit. So when we get to liftoff today, we'll watch the orientation of Falcon 9. You'll see we go straight up until about T plus 10 seconds, at which point we begin that shift in orientation so Falcon 9 can go sideways really fast. So be sure to keep an eye out in just a few minutes. Located at the very top of Falcon 9 on your screen, we have the payload fairing. It measures approximately 40 feet in length and 17 feet in diameter. To put that size into perspective, an average fire truck is about 40 feet long and 12 feet wide. So a fire truck would fit quite comfortably inside our payload fairing. While on Earth, the fairing's primary job is to protect the payload from contamination. Then, at liftoff and through ascent, the fairing will also shield against aerothermal loads and heating. Once we reach the vacuum of space, we will jettison the fairing, and the second stage will continue on its journey into orbit.
Oh snap, when we taking a road trip up to Lompoc Surf, when's that happening, man? I got the truck to do it. The truck's already made the trip, you know. I've already driven it up there. Dude, we didn't get any reception, guys, but if you look all the way down there, from this camera angle, there's a train station down there called Lompoc Surf, and you can see the pads. You can see Slick 4 and Slick 3 from there.
Is the same metal.
Nobody's there right now. It's way
same
too close.
computers,
But
same propellant, and nearly the same engine.
oh yeah,
This allows us to use similar tooling.
yeah.
design,
AP
and systems which result
22-story building. So picture a building in your mind that's 20 stories tall. That's how tall Falcon 9 is. Or if you want to look right there, there's a ladder on the side of the transporter erector. That ladder will give you scale. It's quite big. See that little thing sticking out right there? Dude, let's do it. Slick 10 visit 2. You son of a gun. I'm in.
shortly after Falcon 9 makes
All right,
its
let
way
me
back
get my
down
keys.
onto land. Making our way down the rocket, the bottom 2/3 of the vehicle is
Yeah,
the first
Marco.
stage,
I keep track of that
and is
stuff,
the
dude.
primary part of the rocket that gets reused multiple times. On
Basically
the
a
bottom
rideshare
of the first
mission,
stage
right?
are 9 Merlin M1D engines that accelerate the vehicle through Earth's
Tranche
atmosphere
0 is the
and that
payload
enable
name.
landing back on Earth following stage separation. The first stage
about
supporting
this
today's
big.
mission is flying for the second time today, having previously supported a past Starlink mission.
Landing zone 4.
And today we'll attempt to recover the first stage back on land at Landing Zone 4, which you're seeing on your screen now. If successful, this would mark our 183rd
Beautiful morning in
overall
Cali
successful
over there.
recovery of an orbital class rocket,
Very nice.
including
Green
both
layers.
Falcon 9
Green layers
and
out.
Falcon Heavy first stage landings. So far, we're at T-minus 5 minutes and counting, and all systems are go for an on-time liftoff.
Yeah, dude, see the
The
ladder?
tanks are pressurizing for strong back retract.
That should give
The range
the
is
ladder and the
currently
railings right
ready
there
to
should
support.
tell you
The weather
everything you need
is
to know.
still
The
a
thing's
40%
freaking huge.
chance of violation, but we're still proceeding with an on-time liftoff today. And the vehicle and payload continue to be healthy.
Hey, Solar, where have you been, dude?
If for some reason we're unable to launch today, we do have a backup opportunity tomorrow at the same time. Next
Zay,
up,
which
the
rocket?
truss structure next to the vehicle, known as the transporter erector, or TE, will start to retract. The transporter erector is that truss structure next to the rocket that is used to roll out and to route propellants and electrical power to the vehicle in preparation for launch.
Compression load, Zay, yeah.
In
for the most
preparation
part.
for retraction, as the TE clam's arms will open, as you're seeing on your screen now.
So this is the Tranche 0 mission. It's carrying it's carrying eight satellites on it, and then there's 2 missile warning satellites made by SpaceX on it. It's kind of just a little bit of a rideshare mission.
The TE has started to retract away from the
Okay,
vehicle.
there we go. Moving back to 87 degrees.
At this point in the countdown, both the first and second stages are nearly
It's
fully
going to a
loaded with
polar low
1
Earth
million
orbit,
pounds
Alex,
of
yep.
kerosene fuel and liquid oxygen, or LOX. Those white clouds that you're seeing around the outside of the vehicle are completely normal. During propellant loading, we vent cold gas that forms above the LOX tank surface, and what you're seeing is a result of that cold gas coming in contact with the warmer California air and condensing.
This guy calls a good cast.
Both first stage and second stage should finish loading propellant at about a minute apart from one another. First stage finishing up
like
at
the way he
T-minus
explains
3
things.
minutes, and second stage at around T-minus 2 minutes. Then at T-minus 60 seconds, Falcon 9 will be in start.
Stage 1 LOX load is complete.
Heard that call out for LOX load complete on our
You're
first
trying to steal
stage.
your job? He already stole my job, man. He's got a job at SpaceX.
This means the rocket's autonomous
He's
internal
already
flight computers have
that
taken over the
ship
launch
has sailed,
countdown.
bro.
Once we approach T-minus 60 seconds. Just inside of 2 seconds, we light the Merlin 1D
Cloudy in
engines,
the OC.
and we're set for liftoff.
God damn.
The
Yeah,
SDA
dude. When they,
Tranche 0 payload continues to be healthy, and the Falcon 9 team is currently tracking no issues on the rocket. So let's listen in to the terminal count.
yeah, he paces his explanations like I do. I speak slowly, clearly, and concisely when I'm explaining something. Funny how that works. You know, and I make sure to do that because the reason why I do that, AP, is because there's a lot of people here where English isn't their first language, and if I sat here and explained it this quickly, people would get very freaking confused very, very quickly. Like, he'd be like, nope. I actually speak very slowly and very paced on purpose. That's why I like the way he calls, dude. But yeah, they had a camera facing
Expecting that call
south
out of stage
on
2 LOX load
LZ4.
completion momentarily.
So, cool thing, guys, the landing zone is right there. That's the landing zone. We're right where my finger is. There's that you could just barely see it behind this hill.
Stage 2, LOX load is complete.
So that first stage is going to take
And
off
there
right
you
here,
heard
and
it.
it's going
LOX
to
load
land
is
right
now
there.
complete on our second stage.
When they showed the LZ4 camera, it
As a
faced
reminder,
south
those white
Magellan,
clouds that
and
you
I
see
saw a bunch
venting
of
from
clouds
our
down there.
T, that's
Hey,
completely
Discount,
normal.
what's up, man?
Next up, we're approaching startup. That'll occur in
thanks,
around
Alex.
30 seconds from now.
Trust me, you don't want me to speak fast. My brain will start moving too quickly, and I'll just be like, you know. Discount, thanks for the raid, buddy. That's why I like you, because I can listen to the VOD at 2 times speed.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Gorgeous shot of
All
our
right.
launch site.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
There you heard that call out. Falcon 9's
Guys are just
onboard
in
flight
time.
computers have taken control of the launch countdown. Now we're just waiting to hear from our launch director.
Yeah, there you go. Much better shot of the landing zone. See it over there?
LD is go for launch.
Launch director reports
You
go.
heard the call out there. All systems are go for launch of Falcon 9 and Space Development Agency Tranche 0. Let's sit back and watch as Falcon 9 heads into space.
SDA Tranche.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Yurovich, just in time. All right.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
15 seconds.
15.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7,
Sound suppressor.
6, 5,
There we go.
4, 3, 2,
Green flash.
abort.
Oh, hold up.
Abort, abort, abort.
Launch board is
Oh. It started to flow the T-tab. We saw a green flash down there, but it stopped. Falcon said no. Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
I good to go. If you've been following along, you know we had an abort during the launch countdown at around the T-minus 3 second mark. Prior to that countdown, countdown was proceeding nominally. Now please stand by while we check in with the teams to see if we can get more information.
Interesting. It looks like they tried to start the engines and the auto sequencer said no. So,
This is the launch director on countdown 1. We've had an abort. Currently assessing the situation. The vehicle is healthy.
okay. Yeah, flooded it. It might be what happened. And was the last aboard? It happens. Hold on. They keep cueing the mic and it goes bzzz, and I'm like, check. Yeah, you got to check your staging. Possibly higher standards for a customer mission. That's a very distinct possibility. Yeah. So why does it flash green? It's igniter fluid. Does the sound suppressor need to be refilled? They have enough in the system to be able to turn it around quickly, Adam.
If you've
Yep.
been following along, you know we had an abort during the countdown at the T-minus 3 second mark. We just heard from our launch director. The vehicle and payload do remain healthy. Keep in mind the purpose of the countdown is to help us catch potential issues prior to flight. There are 1,000 ways a launch can go wrong, and only one way it can go right.
Yep.
Given that, we are overly cautious on the ground, and if the team or the vehicle sees anything that just looks even slightly off, they'll stop the countdown. Again, the vehicle and the payload are in good health. This will end our launch attempt for today.
Oh.
The next launch opportunity is tomorrow at the same time, 7:29 a.m. Pacific.
Oh.
Hopefully you'll join us. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.
Oh. Okay, so the auto sequencer encountered something. It saw something that it didn't like during engine ignition. So basically there's a computer. There's a computer on board called the auto sequencer. It's basically the brains of the rocket. And rockets, for the most part, have been computer controlled, either by a computer on the ground in the early days. Fun fact, the early ICBMs were literally like remote control. only a computer was controlling it. They just couldn't put the computer on top of the rocket. So it had to be on the ground, right? And if you're launching the rocket, you know, the computer would basically remotely fly the thing, right? And rockets only had an antenna on it. And then they, you know, when the Apollo program came around, they figured out a way to make a computer light enough to put it on top. The computer controls everything. So part of that is the computer's watching the numbers. Just like the flight controllers in the control room are watching the numbers as well. That was not caught by a person. That was most definitely a computer abort. The flight controllers will watch it just as a backup, just in case the computer didn't catch something. All right? So what happened there is that it looks like they started to ignite the engines. We definitely saw a green flash, but so what? Here, let me explain what the green flash is. The green flash is their igniter fluid. They use pyrophoric igniters on Falcon 9. Those pyrophoric igniters are triethyl aluminum and triethyl borane. Basically, they have to get the fuel pumps spinning fast enough to turn the rocket engine on. In order to do that, they shoot helium. They shoot helium into the turbopump. Now, what is a turbopump? A turbopump is basically a jet engine. Think about a jet engine. And a jet engine has a turbine. Just like anything else with a turbine, you have to spool. All right, you have to spool the turbine, okay? So you have to get it spinning. You have to get it spinning fast for it to do anything. Think about like if you've ever watched a plane take off with jet engines. It's not just pedal to the metal out of the gates, right? It takes a second for the jet engines to right? You don't want that to you don't want that to happen with your rocket, right? You want that thing spinning full power to turn the rocket engine on, because the rocket, you don't want to waste fuel on the pad, right? So what they do is, to spool that pump, they spray, or they shoot helium, basically pneumatics. They shoot helium in it, like taking a keyboard cleaner and shooting it into a computer fan, right? Makes that noise. Yeah, it does sound like that. So they shoot helium in there, and they shoot it into the turbine, and the turbine starts spinning really fast, and then there's a gas generator in front of the turbine, which is somewhat analogous to a combustor on a jet engine. So basically the thing that makes the explosion. They shoot triethyl aluminum and triethyl borane into that. Now, why? Why would you do that? Well, triethyl aluminum and triethyl borane, when they chemically combine, if they find oxygen, they explode. And that's what the green flash is. The green flash is the T-tab going off. That, it basically is the igniter fluid. It turns the rocket engine on, right? So think of it like, if you're a car guy or a car gal, think of it like, shooting the helium in there is spooling the turbo. It spools the turbo for you, like turbine anti-lag. It's the same thing. Same idea, at least. You just, That's what's going on. So they definitely had an ignition. Some of the engines started for a second, and then then the computer shut it off. Basically, there's doing everything that I just said 9 times and doing it uniformly 9 times with the 9 first stage engines is a pretty hard balancing act. Like the guy said, everything has to go right. One thing, all it's going to take is one thing, and then the whole thing blows up. It'll go right to your thighs, and then you'll blow up. So the computer saw something that what's called out of family, meaning that it registered a temperature somewhere on the rocket, or a pressure somewhere, or lack of pressure somewhere, or
Discovery,
just
go
something. It registered a hit on a sensor that's not what Falcon 9 should be doing. Now, the sensors have a nominal range, right? And those nominal range are programmed into parameters for the auto sequencer, right? So basically, the engine temperature has to be between 500 and 600 degrees, right? It has to be in there. Like, that's actually way too wide, but just for made-up numbers. If it registers like 620, something is wrong, so shut the thing off. It did something like that. And that stuff like that can happen during ignition. It's very interesting that, you see stuff like this, because I'll be honest, this stuff's more commonplace. Having a hard start condition or a hard start scenario and an abort That's pretty damn commonplace. The funny thing is that SpaceX makes it seem weird. You know what I mean? Because that balancing act, that ballet of mechanical synthesis that goes on every time we see a Falcon 9 launch, it looks pretty damn normal. But this is literally happening every time. And Falcon 9 syncs it up way more often than it doesn't, right? It's weird seeing a Falcon 9 scrub. That's strange. And it takes milliseconds. Yeah, all that, the helium and the triethyl aluminum, the pyrophoric ignition, all of that happens in, milliseconds, dude. Yep, less than a second to light 9 engines. Is this the first abort SpaceX has had this year? I think it's the second one. So, well, they announced that the vehicle and payload were healthy. Yeah, that means it registered a bad start parameter. Yeah, the computer saw something it didn't like. That's all. Guys, that's what you want, to be honest with you. You don't want to send it and have it probably be fine. The last time they tried doing that and said, "Man, it'll probably be fine," we lost 7 people. Yeah, don't do that. That's a really stupid idea. Don't roll the dice like that, especially with a customer payload, and then more so when people are on board, right? Don't even take the chance. You just figure out what's wrong and you can launch it tomorrow. It's not a big deal, right? It took millions of dollars to put that stupid thing together, right, and put it out on the pad. It took millions of dollars and freaking years to get the payloads and the rocket and everything, like 1,000 bajillion freaking things, and however many dollars, probably more than I'll ever see in my lifetime, had to come together to put that vehicle on the pad. People can wait 24 hours. That's fine. You can wait. No, it's scrubbed, Mackie. Yeah, she scrubbed. Yep. T-minus 3 seconds. Launch aborted. I think it was a hard start condition. That's just a guess, though. That's just a guess. Just a guess. But yeah, interesting. When are you going to go work for SpaceX, EJ? You could be a great help, and we would see less aborts. Charles, what I'm saying is not anything SpaceX doesn't know. In fact, I learned it from them. It has to be right. What was the payload again? So, Space Development Agency Tranche 0 is the name of it. That's a strange name. Tranche 0 is an interoperable... I'm reading off of a cue card, Adam. I don't know what this means. I should probably learn it, but, you know. Working on the truck, man. Tranche 0 is an interoperable mesh network of tens of satellites for the Space Force. Oh, it's SDA. Yeah, Space Force Space Development Agency. Cool. It provides periodic low latency and high capacity data connectivity between on-orbit satellites and forces on the ground. The 8 satellites on this launch are built by York Space Systems. The second part, Tranche 0 is 2 parts. The second part is another Space Force SDA, Space Development Agency, with crosslinks and wide field of view infrared sensors for missile warning and tracking. Okay. So 2 of these, there's 10 satellites on board that Falcon 9. 8 of them are a low latency, high capacity data connectivity between. It's a ground relay. Ground relay satellites. For the Space Force. And then the second one is missile warning. The Tranche 0, the second one are prototype missile detection satellites that are built by SpaceX, which is actually pretty cool. They're probably demoing them for the Space Force. Interesting. Hey, Casimir. At least we saw the flash. Well, Alex, it looks like the flash was only on one side. It looks like it didn't get... They start... So, like, how Falcon 9 does it, they go around the horn. Basically, there's 8 engines on the outside and 1 engine in the center. They go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you sequence an ignition. So this is something else that the auto-sequencer does that you really need to get right. The auto-sequencer sequences the launch events, right? And part of that is a staggered ignition sequence, trying to start, this is just a little bit on propulsion here, trying to start 9 engines simultaneously is not a good idea. Now, I know people are going to say, what do you mean it's not a good idea? Falcon 9 does that all the time. What are you talking about? Well, they don't command the engines to start all at once. They stagger it by a couple milliseconds. The reason why they do that is because trying to start all the engines at the same time can have adverse effects. Like, I could give you an example. You could siphon the fuel out of the lines and implode your fuel line, because all those engines pulling all that fuel all at once can crunch the downcomer. The downcomer is basically the fuel line. You can literally implode it because it pulls all the hydraulic fluid out of it, and it creates not hydraulic. It pulls all the propellants out of it, and you can crunch the downcomer. That's definitely happened before. We've seen scenarios where that happened with Booster 7, believe it or not. SpaceX, yeah, we saw that happened. So they stagger them by a couple milliseconds. So they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then the center engine, right? E9 in the center, E9. I think 9's in the center. I forget. So it looks like they started the sequence ignition and they got to like maybe the 3rd engine, and then it just said nah. The other thing is that trying to start all the engines all at once can create a resonant frequency. Seriously, starting all the engines at once, you can literally make like a shock wave that can break things. Like, there's a bunch of reasons why you don't do that. Every rocket sequences the ignition. Every rocket with multiple engines sequences it. Like the Space Shuttle, for instance. Space Shuttle 3 main engines lit at T-6, right? They went 1, 2, and 3. They would always, you stagger the ignition just a little bit, and that's something, they're staggered by a couple milliseconds. But that's enough to make sure that the vibrations that's introduced during a start scenario for the rocket engine don't compound on each other and make a resonant frequency. Once again, it's about understanding what you made. That's important. It's very important. Did I miss it again? No, now Peggy, she scrubbed. Here, I'll show you. Yeah, she definitely scrubbed. Here, let's check it out one more time. Like, I only saw a green flash on one side, but that could be just the angle. Let's take a look again.
15 seconds. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, abort.
Yeah, I really only saw a little bit of green flashing over here. And, dude, they didn't... The turbo pumps were spooled, that's for sure, because the T-tab they wouldn't have shot the T-tab in there, or Falcon 9 wouldn't have injected the T-tab into the gas generator if it wasn't. So the turbo pumps are spooled on all the engines. They're ready to go, right? I'll tell you what, man, I'm gonna dang old turbo pumps, man. They're spooled up, man. I'll tell you what. Anyway, so they're spinning, because we saw a green flash, but it looks like it petered out real quick, which means that maybe they didn't spool it fast enough. Maybe one of the turbo pumps didn't get up to full power, you know? Like, you got to spin that thing. They're spinning those turbo pumps. The fuel pumps on rocket engines spin at like 30,000 RPM. It's something insane. It's a jet engine, just strapped to the side of a rocket engine. Preventing resonance in structures exposed to a continuous dynamic stress is a fascinating art. Yeah, Alex, for sure. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough. That's why they sequence it. The hamsters ran out of energy. Yeah, pretty much. Let's see it one more time. I only see a flashlight kind of over here.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, abort.
Dude, someone weird with that one. Basically, they added a firing order to the rocket. Every rocket has been doing that for a long time, Rec. Oh, yeah. Sequencing stuff is a good idea. Because you can compound... The rockets vibrate. They vibrate like crazy. It's like a motor. Just, you know, it's just buzzing along, doing its thing, right? And you can get compounding compounding frequencies, and if they compound, they can get resonant and break something. Vibrations do be like that. So it's a Harley. I mean, rocket engines are... Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, kind of like that. I highly doubt there's a different standard for Starlink and customer launches. Yeah, for most likely, but also at the same time, it's like we were talking about with the Falcon 9 launch. Was that Falcon 9 launch yesterday? Yeah, that was yesterday. I was talking about how SpaceX sometimes will change the trajectory of the vehicle. They'll try to optimize the trajectory and they'll do something different. So the parameters do change for a Starlink mission. They use them as developmental test flights. So they do change it from time to time. But I don't think the ignition sequence for the rocket is going to be... That's not some... I agree with you. I don't think that would be changed. No. I can't imagine how much work it would be to figure out the start sequence for the Booster 7 with 33 engines. So, Marco, if we have the rings of motors like this, right? What SpaceX is going to do is light the one at the 12 o'clock position first on the outer ring, and the one down the bottom right after that, and then go around the horn, and then do the same thing again in the center. Yep. And then the 3 engines in the center will probably be the last ones. Pretty cool, right? Yeah, you just go around the horn. Pretty cool, though, right? But anyway, yeah, that's Tranche 0. SDA Tranche 0 did abort on the pad. T-minus 3 seconds, so... Like tightening a valve cover. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah, there's a sequence to it. Bingo. It's like a torque sequence, yeah. Mm-hmm. Jose, that's interesting. Around the horn, channeling your Gene Kranz. Whatever. I'm using that saying forever, man. May have to make a full trip to California. Yep. They're actually getting it done. In September 2023, the Shuttle Endeavour will be moved to a new building, which is currently under construction, will be displayed vertically with the external tank and SRB. Oh man, that's cool. Yeah, Matt, we're gonna have to take a trip out there. Yeah, PM, nice. Can you believe that? Unbelievable. Dude, you know what would be cool? It kind of sucks because they just scrapped MLP3, I think. It would have been cool to break that thing down into pieces and then put it here and put the actual shuttle on top of a mobile launcher and just build the building around the ML. Yeah, Endeavour is gonna have a full stack. Yeah, Alex, it's gonna have a full stack with a real external tank. Yep. Real external tank and real SRBs. Northrop Grumman donated 2 spent SRBs from the shuttle program that they didn't want to reuse for SLS because they were older segments, they were older casings. So Endeavour obviously is real. ET-94, so the 94th external tank made, which was ended up getting mothballed because they came up with a lighter weight design for the tank, the SWLT tank. That's an LWT tank, which means it's heavy, but whatever. So Endeavour's real, the external tank is real, and the SRBs are real. That's a real shuttle. It's going to be a real shuttle stack. Yeah, absolutely a real shuttle stack. Yep, ET-94 is sitting there. Yep, there it is. That's a real external tank, dude. I mean, note the Prius for scale. Yeah, Moto, that's at the California Science Center. Yep. How close to flight modeling is the display shuttle at Johnson Space Center? Do you know? That's the shuttle that was at KSC, the one that's on top of 905 Grav Shark. That's not a real space shuttle. It's a mock-up. Yeah, note the car for scale here. Now, just something interesting something kind of poignant here, right? So that the external tank is freaking huge. That's how big Starship is, guys. Starship is the size of an external tank, give or take. It's pretty damn close. That's how big Starship is. Can you imagine something that big coming up and down from space? I mean, the space shuttle came up and down from space, and that's by far the biggest thing we've ever gotten back. By a long shot. Starship is the size of the tank. Hey, Razzie, what's going on? Oh, that's cool, Grav, yeah. I last saw Endeavour in 2011 when it was sitting on 39A. I took the tour to the lookout tower and saw it sitting there. Ah, that's cool, man. I've been out of the loop. Oh, hey, Bobber. Are we launching a tin can soon? I'd say the end of April. I mean, I said the end of March at the end of February. But, yeah, this stuff takes time. It takes time. Atlanta still has the best presentation, but, man, that's going to give it a run for her money. Yeah, absolutely. That's gonna be something to look at. Matt, like, dude, if it was up to me, and of course it's me, and I know this would take millions of dollars to do, right? Like, they scrapped the fixed service structure at 39B, and we have NASA seems to have extra mobile launchers lying around, dude. Break that stuff down, right? Take it apart, ship it in pieces. Rebuild it at the Science Center so you have the actual fixed service structure, right? How cool would that be? With, like, the shuttle's crew access arm, right? And it's already got elevators with it. It's already handy capable, right? Like, it's not a bad idea, dude. Not a bad idea. And put that inside of that building, you know what I'm saying? Whole kit, let's go. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those elevators are heavy duty, dude. You're already handy capable, man. They could build it. It'd work. Just saying, like, that would be really cool. Just putting it out there. Or even just the tail service masts, dude. Get the tail service mast umbilicals, right? The TSMs, they're sitting in a junkyard, and put them right there and right there. That would be so freaking cool, dude. The shuttle tail service masts are just sitting in a freaking field out by behind Kennedy Space Center visitors. That'd be so righteous. Yeah, they're down here. They took all the shuttle parts out of the VAB and left it in a field after the program ended, which is just, that's sad. Yep, there they are. See them right there? Dude, gotta take those. You gotta take those. You gotta take those and put them next to it, man. I mean, building a building to house a shuttle stack with the service structure and an MLP, that might get a little crazy now that I'm thinking about it. But, I mean, if it was up to me, I would just build it right into the structure of the building. So have, like, the fixed service structure be half of the actual structure of the building, you know? Just rebuild the VAB around it. Why not? Why wouldn't? That's a good idea. We should do that. Actually, the VAB is too much. Too big. You don't need something that big. Possible, but massive. Yeah, Alex, yeah, no, I got you. I know that would be a complicated project, but you know what, man? You know what always irks me? It's not complicated in the fact that we can't do it. That's not an insurmountable problem. The complication is from cash and stuff, which, once again, I get it. I get it. But also, it's not that we couldn't do it. You know what I mean? That always, the stuff like that always kind of is like, ugh, damn it. You know? It's a Space Force satellite constellation. Oh, nice. But that's cool. Neat. Are you going to stay live? Yeah, exactly. It's definitely possible. Like, that wouldn't be too incredibly complicated to do that, to get the tail service masts there and hook up the umbilicals. That would be freaking cool, dude. Because it's clearly supposed to be in launch configuration, right? Why not have the TSMs there and make it look right? The teams are resetting for tomorrow. Okay, so we got an update from SpaceX here. Falcon 9 had an auto-sequencer abort just prior to T-0. Vehicle and payload are in good health. Teams are resetting for a launch attempt tomorrow, March 31st at 7:29. Okay, so it's a 24-hour turnaround. If SpaceX is saying it's a 24-hour turnaround, guys, it was just a bad start. Just a bad start case. I.e. nothing. It didn't damage anything. The auto-sequencer caught it before it broke something. I mean, sometimes starting up rocket engines, dudes, and I should have probably said this a little bit earlier when we were talking about it, but starting up a rocket engine, guys, is like putting your foot to the floor on the gas pedal on a car and then turning the key. Every time. It is a tough thing. Like, you ever, like, don't ever do this. You'll break. Time to wake up. You'll break something, right? Turn the key, pedal to the floor right away. That's a really good way to break something. But rocket engines need to do that every time. So, I mean, dude, even if you have the most reliable engine in the world, once or twice, you know, you'll do that and it'll throw a rod or something, right? Like, you never know. The starting conditions aren't going to be exactly the same every single time. But the good thing is that the computer said, nah, we're not doing that before it damaged something. I mean, they really got to get those things, like, spooled, full power, and then turn it on. Like, seriously, the thing is primed, it's ready to go. Like, so sometimes that, you know, just doesn't pan out. They don't use T-Tab cartridges, W, on Falcon 9. I was reading about it. T-Tab is usually, like on some rockets, it's cartridges, but Falcon 9 has a T-Tab refueling system. Yeah. There's a T-Tab commodity line on the tail service masts on Falcon 9. Yeah, Gene, well, if they're doing a 24-hour turnaround, that tells me that they've already figured out what's wrong. They already figured out what it did. They wouldn't recycle the time like that unless they were absolutely sure. Yeah, it has a T-Tab reloading system, Gene. Yeah, ground side. We figured that out from the last Falcon 9 abort. The last Falcon 9 abort, they had trouble loading T-Tab into the rocket. Yeah. I was taken aback too. I'm like, why would cartridges? All right. Did they used to use them? It's possible. It's amazing how few aborts SpaceX has. Yeah. Yeah, it really is. It really, really is. Hey, Zerg, what's going on? All right, fellas. So garage stuff. I could give you guys an update, I suppose. Do we have this view open? No, we don't. Okay, give me 1 second. Wait, given the air start, wouldn't SpaceX have to use cartridges? I don't see why you would do that. I mean, they may have, previous versions may have, who knows? Here, give me 1 second. I gotta turn on the camera. Here, let me show you. Play GeoGuessr. No, I'm good, thanks. All right, so here. So I got another coat on the frame for the truck, and I put another coat on it last night after the stream, and it looks good. It's really looking good. I don't have any of the other cameras set up, which is ironic because you can see one of them in this picture, but. Sir, your truck is missing some parts? Yeah, I'm working on it. Working on it, literally. So, yeah, I got the new leaves. They're right there. New leaves, new shackles. Do you have a bed for the truck, or are you going to leave it with just the cab and the frame? Yeah, Norath, ignore me. I'm blind. No, it's all good, man. It's all good. Yeah, Alex, that's right. What did you coat it or just painted it? It's got engine and chassis heat paint on it. VHT engine paint is what I used. It's nice. It's really good. Really thick paint. It's an F100. Yeah, 59. Nice BMX. Ever do some sweet jumps? Yeah. So what's the plan with it? Just doing a refresh? AP, yeah, what I wanted to do was change the bushings on the suspension because the bushings were shot. So I started taking that apart, and you know exactly where this story is going. No RTV, Aqualex, no. You know exactly where this story is going. I got one of the shackles off, looked at the bushing, and then looked at the shackle. Then I was like, that's junk. And then I looked at the leaf, and the leaf at some point had water. I mean, it's probably just because it was tired. It's tired. It's old, right? Those are the original leaf springs. I noticed that they were rusting from the inside out. They were pitted between the leaves, and I'm like, well, that's junk. So now I need to get the U-bolts off to, get the leaves off of the axle. And then I looked at the U-bolts, and I'm like, oh, that's a death trap. Here, let me show you. I have one of the U-bolts that I ended up having to cut because the rust was so bad because it's so old that the nut is pitted. The nut is pitted. Yeah, the nut. See there. See how there's like the nut right here looks like the surface of the moon. Yeah, that's the U-bolt, dude. Look at how thin that is. See what I'm talking about? Junk, all junk. So I just said screw it, loaded up my parts cannon and shot it right at the truck. Yep. Turns out that 64-year-old leaf springs and 64-year-old U-bolts aren't. Yeah, they've lasted a half century. That's pretty good. The rear axle is fine, Gene. The 9-inch rear end's okay. Yeah, dude, that thing will survive an apocalypse, man. We're good. Yeah. So, I mean, the fact that it lasted this long, I'm pretty damn impressed, right? Because that truck was that was a farm truck AP. From like 59 when it was bought until probably the mid 90s. Actually, no, not the mid 90s. It was my uncle bought the truck in like 1991 or something like that. Yeah. And then I bought it from him in 2009. So that truck had a hard life, man. It had a hard life. 30 years on a farm. I delivered pizzas in that thing. That's right, Aqualux. Yep. The entire rear suspension, Casimir, is that hurt my wallet a little bit. We need to call a paramedic for my wallet. Here, let me get off SpaceX launch coverage here. We'll title the stream Just Truck Things in the Shop. And then we'll play Kerbal later. I'll leave us in science and technology. Why not? That's fine. Yeah, it aborted hypersonic. There was a scrub. So how much time working on it? Fritz, I've been working on it for 10 years off and on. So the thing about the 59 is that I started restoring it. It's an interesting story, dude. I started restoring this truck, basically doing what I'm doing now in my parents' garage in 2013. In fact, a viewer that watches the stream, this is before the stream, right? I knew this viewer before the stream. I'm not going to say who. Was helping me pull the motor out, and I basically wanted to do what I'm doing right now. I wanted to restore it. I painted this bed. That bed is me. I painted that in my parents' garage, making the garage with like some HEPA filters and a box fan. I basically made a paint booth and I painted this. I did that with a spray can. So I had the truck pretty good to go, and I wanted to rebuild the front because the front was rusty like this. So I literally took the thing out. I pulled the engine. I completely took it apart. I stripped all the wiring out. It was down to the shell. It was basically the chassis, the frame with the cab on it and the glass, and that's it. And right while I was in the middle of doing that, the stream got big. Yep. The stream started to get really, really, really big. Like, that's when the original developers of Kerbal noticed the stream, and I went from getting, like, 10 viewers a night to, like, 200, 250, 300 viewers a night. And, yeah, I just hadn't... It got away from me. Time got away from me. But now, I don't have to worry about that. I have a freaking shop. So I can work on it. I can work on it anytime. I don't need to worry about people messing with it. I don't need to worry about people moving things around. And who knew? The work actually gets done. Funny how that works, right? Not bad for a spray can job. Thank you. So, yeah, the truck has not ran. It hasn't really been driven around for about 10 years. because streaming takes up a lot of time. And then when I went full time, it takes up even more time. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit there and say that part of that is not me being able to manage my time correctly. That has a lot to do with it too. But yeah, I'm definitely in a place where I can sit there and pick away at it for like, you know, even if you could work on it for like 30 minutes a day, all that time cumulatively adds up. And that's what I've been doing. But can it be registered? Yeah, of course. It's looking nice. It's hard work on stream and truck. It's hard to work on the stream and the truck at the same time. Yep. Well, now, Fritz, I've maximized my odds of success with the shop, so I don't need to worry about that. Stuff gets done. Dude, AP, it's a godsend. It's a godsend, man. Like, I can just leave it there. All the leaf springs, everything is exactly where I left it. Nothing is moved. No one's going to touch it. No one comes in the garage but me. You know? Like, yeah. Yep. That's basically what I have, Val. I have it's an insulated garage, dude. Insulated garage. It's warm enough, right? I have all my tools. I have air compressors. I have jack stands. I have lifts. I have angle grinder. Not lifts. I have engine crane. That's what I meant. I have everything but a lift. I can do everything in here. How's parts availability, Falco? That's not bad. It does take a second for stuff to get here. But, yeah, parts not bad. Yeah, I mean, does this make you want to build it in KSP? I mean, yeah, kind of. So, I don't know. AP, I was thinking maybe get a gantry crane over getting a lift. A lift will take up a lot of space. Like, as weird as that sounds, I like having it nice and open. Maybe I'll just build another garage right next to it with a lift. I don't know. No, a bridge crane. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, Aqualex. Yeah, stuff gets moved around. It's really hard to keep track of it, you know? When F100 and KSP2. How much do you think you have to fab yourself? Not much. No, not much. Yeah, a lift would be nice, dude. A lift would be nice. Did you see what I was talking about in my Discord message last night? Yeah. It's spares and stuff, Creeper. I don't know the context of what that is, to be honest with you. But yeah, the numbering is weird. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'd go with the crane. You get more use out, like a gantry crane. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, it'd be nice to have both of them, but the crane you can move around. The lift you really can't, unless we can get one of those lifts that you can move around. In which case, yeah. One thing I wish differently is that going for a 4-post over a 2. Yeah, Rob. The other thing would be a 4-post because you can move them. You can move 4-post lifts around. You know. Yeah, the floor space is kind of like, dude, I don't know about you guys. I like having the space. I always thought, like, when I was in my parents' garage that I wanted a lift, right? I'm like, oh, I gotta have a lift. I can do without it. The jack stands are just fine. I mean, I'm still relatively young. I don't mind getting on my back and getting underneath. That's not a big deal. I mean, a lift would be nice. Don't get me wrong. But I do like having the floor space. I like being able to move stuff around. Like if I put a singular lift in the garage, I can't fit 2 cars in anymore. With this, I can, like, you guys have seen it. I've put both trucks in the garage before by putting one on caster wheels and moving it off to the side and then driving the other one in. If I get a lift, can't do that no more. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't like that. Lifts just transfer the pain from your back to your neck. I mean, if you could put in an overhead crane, that would be best. Yeah, Gene, a gantry crane is kind of what I'm after. I was thinking about it, dude. Gantry crane would be sick. I mean, the building construction is galvanized steel, but I'm not sure it's that load bearing. But yeah. Miller, what I was thinking about is getting a pair of skyjacks. Yeah, yep. Why not movable lifts? You could do that too, NX. Yeah, it's really just a matter of cost, you know. 2-post is great for space, but one of our arms packing real tight. Only really a 600 by 600 square taken up either side. Something to consider, all right. Yeah, Rob. I like having the space, dude. I really do. I like having the space. It's actually super nice. You know, just, I can move everything out. Like, I can just put it on the floor. It's not a big deal, right? And just leave it there. Yeah, those wildfire lifts that Vice Grip has noteworthy are nice. That's what I'd probably get if I was going to do a lift. Yeah. If I was going to do a lift, I'd do the wildfire. Because then, like, think about it, dude. We could put a car on the wildfire lift. I could move it off to the side, right? Raise it up. Then you could drive another car in underneath it. Jack that thing up, put it on casters, and then move the lift and everything off to the side. And then I could get another car in there. So I could fit 3 cars in with a 4-post lift. I was really kind of considering that. But wildfire lifts are super expensive. They're 6 G's. $6,000 for one. So I'm like, you know. Yeah, exactly, Miller. Yeah, like I said, I like having the space. You should buy an Audi B5 S4. Audis don't do anything for me, about. They're cool cars. They don't do anything for me. I don't get excited by them for whatever reason. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating by any means. Still running out of space yourself? Let me see. What do you got for me, bro? Hey, very nice. Oh man, that thing is insulated to heck, dude. Nice shed, man. Very good. Yeah, see what you're saying. Oh, the SW20, bro. The SW20. Now that's a cool car, man. That's sick, bro. Very cool. How high is the garage ceiling again? I got 20-foot ceilings, 4-in-1. I got a lot of space up there. Looking nice. Car restorations are an act of unconditional love. I had the luck to restore an Alfa Romeo Giulia Spider from 1970. Cool car. It's been 12 years in the making and lots of challenges with highs and lows, but in the end I managed to finish it. I rent it from time to time for marriages. Let's just say that the banks were in such bad shape. Now the engine has an extra 30 cubic centimeters. Yep, you needed to bore it over. Yeah, sometimes you gotta punch it out, dude. The stuff gets tired, man. It's just the way it is. You thinking about putting in a lift? I don't know, man. Maybe. Yeah, the 81 Datsun. You missed that car. Yeah, Datsuns are cool. Yeah, 280s. Those are cool cars. Silver top, blue bottom with T-tops. Nice. Very good. This is more what you were thinking, Gene? Let me see. Yeah, dude. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about, man. Yeah, it would be nice to get... I'm not, like, totally on board with lift, but I'm totally on board with that. That would be sick. Now, dude, freaking gantry crane, man. Like, make it a high bay. Right? Make it a high bay. Works for the aerospace industry, you know? That would be very, very cool. Do you still have the black Mustang? Yeah, Rob. It's covered up and basically shuttered up for the winter, dude. I got to change the oil on it and then, yeah, I should be putting it back on the road pretty soon, yeah. Since you're up to reassembly on the... So are you up to reassembly? On the back of the truck AP, there's still some stuff I got to do up front. But yeah, that gantry crane gene is sick. And it looks like with that one, you could get it custom sized. I would definitely get a gantry crane for the garage. Absolutely. What do you have left up front? There's holes in the cab. I gotta fix that. It's mostly up front, dude. I have to work on the wire harness a little bit to play nice with the new headers that I got. We got to do the exhaust, which is not that big of a deal, but I'm kind of dreading it because I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never made an exhaust before, but, you know, that's kind of not how you got to look at it. You just got to kind of go at it, you know? Yeah, AP, the gantry crane is kind of where it's at. Like, that's what I'm thinking, like, would be better, you know? Freaking gantry crane, man. I still have the cardboard lists. Yes, they're in the cab, Paul. Yeah. You end up sorting the brake lines. I have to fix them, AP. Yeah, we got to make new ones. Straight pipe it? Well, I got mufflers. They're in a box over here. Yeah, there's a lot of little things that need to be done up front. The way I did it, guys, and the way I put it all back together is basically mocked up right now. It looks right, and the front looks together, but it's, like I said, it's mocked up. It needs to be taken apart and put back together so I can shim all the quarter panels correctly. Because, like, if you notice the panel gap on that door, look at like right there on the door. Look at the door to the fender. It looks like the fender is like super crooked. The panel gap is atrocious on the truck. I need to fix everything. I need to basically center the doors. And then once I center the doors, you do the doors first. And then you do the quarter panels. And in order to really shim the doors right, the front clip of the truck needs to be taken off. Meaning I need to take the quarters off, the core support, the hood, stuff like that. I got to take it all apart again. And when I do, I'm going to do that to it to make it not bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking the engine out again. Screw that. That's a pain in the butt to get back in there. Yeah, it's Tesla panel gap wreck. Yeah, I gotta fix it. Yeah. It's a V8 Murdoch. Yeah, it's got a 302 in it. Nothing special. It's just a stock 302 I think it's from a 79 F100. Well, if I had a gantry crane, yeah. If we had a gantry crane, that'd be easy. Is all the tin worm dealt with? No. It needs cab corners. All four. 4 and 1. Yeah, it needs cab corners. I'm not the best welder, so I'll admit I'm kind of being a wimp about it. I have a welder. It's behind the tires over there. Well, it's kind of behind the tires. It's over there. It's behind the truck. I gotta do that whole welding thing. But yeah, it's got there's holes in the floor on both sides, driver and passenger. And then you can see that the back cab corner's got a couple of holes in it right there. I have the patch panels for it, but I'm kind of like about doing that because I'm not. It's not that I'm not good at it. I just gotta wrap my mind around it enough to be confident in what I'm doing, you know? Grinder and paint makes me the welder I ain't. Yep. I told my wife, you need to help me bleed the brake. She was like, no. I told her all I need is her right leg. Yeah, right. Nice, Miller. Yeah. I mean, if you still have the old leafs, then you have something perfect to practice welding on now. Yeah, the old leafs are over by the box in the engine crane over there. Yeah, Sun Temple, exactly. I just got to get a feel for it, and it's just it's another thing to do. But yeah, so like, after this, guys, basically from the back of the cab back, the truck is going to be immaculate. Like, that's going to be finished, and it's going to be finished, and it's going to stay like that for a little while. I'm basically, I have I have the space to do it, and it very recently kind of dawned on me. Like, I wanted to get the truck done before KSP2 came out, but that didn't happen. I dilly-dallied around. It is what it is. But yeah, I recently kind of had, like, it finally set in that I have a shop and no one's going to screw with anything that I'm messing with, and I can just put it together and it's not really a problem. So what I've been doing basically all this week is I've been working like 4 to 5 hours on the truck before I come and start streaming. So yeah. How long until you do an electric conversion? No, I'm good. Yeah, there you go, Alex. Yep. Do you ever stream working on the truck? Yeah, Corkle, I usually do, but I haven't lately, just because I can get the work done faster, and I really, really want this truck to be running and driving by the summertime, because I would really like to drive away from my wedding in this truck. My wedding's in the summer, so I really do not have a lot of time. So I have not been streaming working on it, but I've been giving you guys updates like this. Even though there's a ton left to do, you should be proud. There's a lot, but that's a lot better than most of us can do to a vehicle. I rely entirely on my mechanic. Oh yeah, no, working on cars. Yeah, no, it's a good skill to pick up, Throttle. Yeah, you never know when you're gonna have car trouble, dude. Personally, I don't. This is just kind of my own mantra, dude. I don't like owning something and not knowing how it works. If that makes any sense, right? I don't like that. I don't like being dependent on somebody else to fix the equipment that I own. I don't like it. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with doing that. I personally don't like that. I'm not saying that anybody else needs to be like me. I'm weird. Like, I'm the oddball in this situation. I recognize that, you know? SpaceX, question mark? It's scrubbed, S. Yeah, it's scrubbed, dude. They aborted on the pad. Something with the ignition sequence. It's a 24-hour turnaround. You must love cell phones nowadays. I don't like... Yeah, Aqualex, I basically... in that particular scenario, I've kind of given up on figuring out how that thing works, because you're not taking it apart, right? Like, I just take care of it and kind of go from there. Does that mean you cut your own hair? I do, Zombie. I do. Yep. Yep, I cut my own hair. Save tons of money on haircuts, man. Haircuts are expensive. They charge like $50 for a damn haircut. I'm like, man, no, I'll just trim it myself. I don't know, Solar. So, yeah, my computers. Gene built one of the computers, but I recently took that thing apart. I know how it works. I built my streaming PC, like cars, lawnmowers, stuff like that kind of equipment. Even like kitchen appliances and stuff, like I like knowing how it works, so if something breaks I can fix it. It's that whole being independent thing. I don't like having to rely on other people. Only if I absolutely have to. Not only that, the manufacturers are going out of the way to make any repairing power as hard as possible. Aqualex, it's because they're the manufacturing, dude. That's the thing with new cars. And that's why, a lot of guys, they're like, well, our cars are built really difficult now. You're right. You're not wrong. The thing about it is that it's not that they're built to design, it's not like doing any repair is a pain in the butt. The reason why the cars are so ridiculously engineered nowadays and it's seemingly difficult to work on them is because they're designed to be put together quickly. They're not designed to be maintained quickly. They're designed to be put together quickly. Factorio optimization, right? If it is harder to design something that needs to be taken apart. That's more difficult. You don't make as much money doing it that way. And the car makers know that. So that's why they're harder to work on. A byproduct of that is that they're more difficult to work on. I mean, so, you know, everybody's like, oh, they just want me to take it to the dealership. No, 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 no. They don't want you to take it to the dealership. They want you to buy another car. See what I'm talking about?
Go at throttle up.
But yeah, the gist of what you're saying is correct. Yeah, they are difficult to work on. Doing an oil change on the Fusion, I did that on stream, and I had to take the whole skid plate off, and it took it doubled the amount of time of the oil change because I was taking that stupid fairing off the bottom of the car. Hey, Brandy, 73-month resub. Thank you. Oh, you were speaking about phones. Oh, dude, phones? Yeah, no, I have no freaking clue with phones. Yeah, you're probably 100% right in that regard. Yeah, Aqualix, I mean, dude, you you know, people are concerned about climate and stuff, right? And you know I'm kind of laissez-faire about that, but honestly, you want to really know what kills the climate? Throwaway culture. Throwaway culture is a real good way to ruin this planet. And we're obsessed with it. Not to get too real, but just saying. That's cool, Corkle. Right on. Yeah, I mean, you know, if your TV breaks, you just throw it away. And how many people are recycling those TVs? So they go into a landfill. I'm sure that's good. I'm sure that won't have any repercussions down the road. Nah, Razzie, it's not that. Because I don't want to get into the conversation, dude. It's not that. There are other things at play. I mean, Aqualex, that's the kind of the reason why I don't mind owning these old cars, because these old cars aren't thrown away. They don't find their way into a landfill. Now, don't get me wrong. Old cars are actually super recyclable because they're only made out of metal and rubber. New cars with all the plastics, throwaway cars, there's a lot of components that break on that. You throw them away. I know it says not to, but who's it, Mana? Johnny, you know how you have that one friend that's just a complete jerk? But he's cool, but he's a complete jerk? Yeah, that's Edmana. You have that one friend, it's like he's a jackass, but he's your jackass, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's Edmana. To be honest with you. He comes in here, screws with me, breaks all my damn chat rules, right? So because he was breaking all the damn chat rules all the time, I made a rule about not being like him. Boy, I'm looking at a complete jerk on the screen right now. Wow, your parents must be so proud of you, Sirius. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Rec, exactly. There you go. He's a funny guy, yeah. He likes screwing with me, but he's all right. He's a good dude. But yeah, I mean, yeah, freaking. Yeah, Aqualex, one time, dude. I don't know if I ever told you guys about this. I think I may have once or twice. One time I was driving the Coronet around in the city, right? And one of the people that lives up the street was like, "Hey, how you doing?" So I stopped. I'm like, "Hey, how are you?" And dude, the lady goes, "You know how much pollution that car makes?" And I'm like, "It has a smaller carbon footprint than your hybrid Lexus over there." She's like, "No, I don't think that's how that works." I'm like, "I'll talk to you later." I'm like, "Yep, no, nope, nice try." I'm like, "Hey, K3, I'm usually a lurker, but I love the streams." Right on, man. Thanks for taking time out of your day. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. Yeah, there you go, Alex, right? You never have to worry about anybody in Texas telling you that. Yeah, so I was like, car has a smaller carbon footprint than your hybrid over there. And dude, I was prepared to be like, yo, the amount of energy it takes to make your car is way higher than the amount of energy that it took to make this car. Because this car is not as complicated as that car. You want to talk, dude? You want to talk about stuff that's gonna wreck the planet? Making things. If you're really gonna get into it, Making things. If the thing is more complicated, it takes more energy to produce. Where do you think that energy comes from? A modern car has a much bigger carbon footprint despite being more fuel efficient than an old car does. So the net overall lifespan, right, is going to be worse for a newer car because it takes more energy to make and it's not designed to be fixed. My car from the 60s is designed to be fixed. It did not take as much energy to make it. And the fact that it's still on the road and still driving means that I'm not buying into another car. Something to think about. I was ready to explain it, but you know, it has a smaller carbon footprint than your car. No, I don't think that's how it works, EJ. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I'm leaving. Bye. Yeah, I still have the Coronet. Yeah, of course. It's sitting outside. That's teed up next, Rec. After the truck. Oh yeah. Coronet needs some help. Pretty much AP, sure. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Oh, that was a neighbor. Yeah, Nighthound neighbor. Exactly why I'm restoring a 69 GTO. It's true. Can you even repair an EV yourself? Yeah, you can. Yeah, but you have 5 miles per gallon less. Dude, hypersonic, once again, I don't think people realize how much energy it takes to make a new car. Where do you think that energy comes from? Fossil fuels. Unless every automotive plant is hooked up to a nuke and wind turbines and a hydroelectric dam, fossil fuels. So this new car that took a lot more energy to make, that's way more fuel efficient, guess what? It offsets because energy is finite. Just saying. Like, conservation of energy. You trade in one thing for another thing. Just saying. Just putting it out there. Yeah, not just electrical power. There you go, man. Just, yeah, stuff to consider. That's why I like keeping my older cars. My older cars, yeah, they're not very fuel efficient, but they did not take as much fossil fuel to make those things because they're simple. It's just something to ponder. The longer you own your vehicle, the lesser your carbon footprint goes down. Or the more your carbon footprint goes down. Sorry, I said that backwards. I know, I'm messing with you. Oh, yeah, there you go, Hypersonic. Right on. Anyway. Yeah, exactly, Norath. Mm-hmm. But once again, the second I got a no, I don't think that's how that works, I was just like, have a good day. I'm not wasting my time. Blah, 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 blah. And I basically just punched the gas and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah, it was fun. But anyway, guys, yeah, I'm working on just working on this. Yeah. I was just like, dude, all right. The condescension, yeah. That's why I like living where I live now, Corkle. I moved out of the city, and I'm really happy that I did. Because, you know, down here, people see you driving the old cars around. They're like, dude, nice, that thing is sick. When I was up in the city, all I got was, you have any idea how much you're polluting? I'm like, nope, and I don't think you do either. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah, noteworthy. You just like to go fast. Wow, lots of progress. Yep, Joe. Yep, she's coming along, dude. I gotta put those leaves on there. We gotta start hanging them. Conspiracy theory. His garage cam is a static image. When he goes into the garage, it's all coordinated ahead of time. He moved to Amsterdam secretly years ago. That's some serious levels of prep work. He paid me to say that so he can play this video. Oh, boy. What's up, Mercs? How you doing? Clearly trickery. It's a conspiracy, man. We all know that's pre-recorded and B. Howells is a paid actor. Yeah, he just admitted it. Nice bike. Thanks, Zombie. It's a Harrow Shredder. Yeah, Mercs. Dude, I got the frame from basically the cab back, sanded and primed, and it's coated in VHT chassis paint. So it's like, dude, that thing sprays on real thick. It's thick boy paint. So it looks, dude, the frame looks dope. Like, the picture don't do it justice. Nice Ford. Thanks, goodies. EJ, may I ask a serious question? As an American, do I own gunfires? Gunfires? So, firearms? Like, I mean, I don't like talking about that, Rez. So, yeah, but I don't...
Discovery, go at throttle up.
I keep that on the down low, man. Yeah, of course, dude. This is my boomstick. Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Truck starting to look good. Thanks, Linux. Any word on the abort today? It was a 24... They announced a 24-hour scrub, Linux, so it can't be anything weird. It just sounds like the auto-sequencer detected a hard start case and just said, no. Dude, Linux, did you see that Nate shouted you out in that podcast, or not the podcast, in that AMA the other day, last week? Dude, he called you out by name. He's like, I like Linux. Linux is the best. I did my engine bay in a ceramic 2-stage paint. Yeah, right on, dude. There you go. There you go. Yeah, Razzie, of course. Mm-hmm. Have you ever used Wrinkle Red? Oh, I like Wrinkle Red. I've never used it, but I do like Wrinkle Red. It's like the Ferrari valve covers, man. Yeah, cool for head cover. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If I get the right car, I'll do Wrinkle Red valve covers just because Wrinkle Red valve covers. Wrinkle Black is good too. Yep. Was told about it during your stream. Right on, Linux. There you go. All I need is a couch to sleep on. I'm gonna think about it. Yeah, Mercs, that chassis paint sprays on and it looks like powder coating. Don't get me wrong. It's probably not a substitute. It looks like powder coating. It looks good, though. It looks good. There are some runs on the side of the frame where I oversprayed a little bit, but I don't care. I mean, no one's going to see it anyway. It's going to be, the bed's going to be on top of it. Turbo K24 swap Ferrari. That's Stanceworks car. That's a cool car, man. Yeah. Can I post a link to the bug packager utility? Absolutely, Linux. Yeah. Oh, dude, I was actually going to ask you about it. That's the reason why I brought it up. Yeah, hypersonic. There you go. You don't want perfection. You won't want to drive it. Yeah, Mercs, pretty much. I am purposely managing my expectations for the truck. So, Mercs, I'm not building it for, like, frame-off resto. I'm building it and doing the work that I'm doing to make it last. To make the thing last. That's how, you know, when we go to fix more cars down the road when the truck is finished, that's how I go about building things. I don't restore it to make it like a showroom car. I restore it to last. You know, that's why that frame is caked in paint. It is caked in paint. It looks like I painted it on with a paintbrush. Like, if you looked at it up close, you'd be like, But I don't care. It's not trying to look good. I'm trying to make that frame last another 64 years. You want a K24 swap to A86? Yeah, Bobby. I mean, I ain't driving the truck around in the winter. But we do need to rhino line the frame on the, or just protect the frame on the 97, you know? Did that thing have 6 volt originally? Yes. Yes, it was. It was 6 volt. That was converted to 12. Yes. And then I rewired the entire truck, so it's just 12 volt now. You're not going to get anything like that condescension from you, but there's a lot of anti-EV and anti-arena. Yeah, Aqualex, we've talked about that, man. Yeah, the anti-EV people have no idea what they're talking about either. It's almost like people just want to be, they don't want to be correct. They want to be right. That's my problem. I have problems with both people, like either side of the spectrum here. I don't like people that don't know what they're talking about. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I'm perfect in that regard either. But at least I acknowledge that I'm not perfect. That's what I'm getting at. You know what I'm saying? Like, it works both ways. It's give and take with me, dude. Yeah, Mercs, for sure. I know you know that, dude. I kind of said it to explain it to everybody else. I like my Beetles equal parts nice and rough at the same time. Fix it and drive it. Yeah, Miller, I'm really building it to last so I can actually enjoy it and not have to worry about taking it apart again for another 60 years, you know? I'll never deny the negatives of my decision so long as people can acknowledge the positives. There you go, man. When Tough Enough's engine controller. Dude, we could do that. We could do that next when the 59 is finished, Hellfish. We'd do that in the summer. That would be fun. That, dude, I'll be honest with you, that is something that I'm dreading. I wired the 59, but that's a basic 12-volt system. I'm not, like, sure what I'm going to need to do to the 97 to get that ECU working. And don't get me wrong, I'm not necessarily afraid of wiring, but I'm like, I don't want to, like, I'm scared because I don't want to mess up a truck that runs and drives. I had a bad experience with that once. You know? Would you start a Japanese car project? Or hard to get all the bits over there? Dude, no, you can get, dude, next to American cars, dude, Japanese cars are the most plentiful on American roads by a long shot. That and German cars. I mean, dude, no, I could get whatever. Rob, the stuff that's hard to get over here, is 180SX. That's hard to get. S15s, that's hard to get as well. Now, the 180SX is a 240 over here. They called it a 240SX because different engine laws. So, dude, we had there was a KA24 in our Silvia chassis, and it was basically a detuned, crappy Silvia with a single overhead cam. It was caca. So everybody rips those K24s out because they're stupid and they put V8s or they put, RB25s in them or something, which leads me to the next thing that's difficult to get. So they never made Silvias over here, so you have to import one, which you have to import one. Skylines, Skyline GT4s, Skyline GTSTs, Skyline GTRs being the craziest ones. Those cars are really hard to get over here. They didn't make any Celica ST185 or ST205 GT4s. We never got the GT4, which is a shame because that's a cool car. We never got those. What else did we not get? We did get Supras. We definitely did get Supras. We never got Mark III Supras with the 1Js in them. There's no Cressidas over here. There's no Crowns. They never made those here. So we do have 3rd gen RX-7s. They made those. Like I said, we got Supras. We have Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR4s. Only over here, they badge them as Dodges. Yeah. Dodge Stealth RT. Weird, I know. They never made Hiluxes over here. The closest thing that we have to a Hilux is a 85 Toyota pickup SR5, like the one from Back to the Future. It's a Hilux, but they didn't call it a Hilux. They just call it a pickup. I don't know. And then the Tacoma would be the modern equivalent of that. Yeah, but it's still not. The Tacoma and the Hilux are different. Any Mazdas? Yeah, we have 3rd gen RX-7s. They made all the RX-7s over here, Falco. Yeah, Mazda Mazda always almost anything that they offered in Japan they had here. Yeah, so we have JDM stuff, dude, but all the really cool JDM stuff we never got. Like, we never got Suzuki Altos. We never got stuff like Honda Beats. Never got stuff like that. All the cool little turbo cars and stuff, we never got that stuff. Tacomas are pretty much a rebadged GM with a body kit. You sure about that? 2001 Skyline R34. Yeah, Bobby, that's probably one of the hardest things to get. Yeah. Yeah, Mercs. Yeah, Ron. Yeah, Ron and me. Yeah, I did. They're in the Freedom 500. I did see that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Tacomas are rebadged GM. I don't think so. I don't think Toyota would allow that. Yeah, exactly, AP. Like a 180SX. Yeah. Yeah, 180SX is just a detuned Sylvia. Yep. But yeah, the JDM stuff, we got a lot of JDM cars, but we didn't get the real cool JDM stuff from the 90s, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. All right, Miller, see you, buddy. Yeah, K cars are cool, dude. Actually, Shank, up in the city, up in Boston, I see K trucks driving around. People are importing Honda and Suzuki K trucks. Yeah. I'm like, dude, K-Truck. All right. That's freaking sweet. I'm not even mad. Those things are cool. It's a little baby pickup truck. I like it. I think it's neat. It's like an 8-ton pickup truck. It's freaking cool, man. I kind of want one. I'm like, that thing is freaking cool. It's a golf cart. I love it. When they become legal, 25-year rule, you'll be able to import a mint yoke from Ireland at least. Yep. Yeah, Rob, I know that Ireland has some pretty hardcore JDM stuff. Like, you guys got all the cool stuff for whatever reason. Like, that's rad, man. My buddy owns two, but can't import them yet, and we're talking about buying one off of him. Get a good chunk of change before you do that. However, the Toyota V8 block is based heavily on the LSX architecture. Yeah, and the LS architecture is a ripped-off 351 Cleveland. Nice, AP. There you go. So yeah, Rob, we got decent JDM stuff, but we never got the really cool stuff, you know. We are the Japan of Europe. Yep. Like we never got Sprinter Trunos. It's free rocket engines. Zay, nice. We never got Trunos. They sold the AE86 over here as a Corolla, and the closest trim level to Japan spec would be 11. Not 11 like the number. LEVIN is what the low spec for the Truno for the Sprinter Truno was. Yeah, we got 11s. They badged it as a Corolla GTS. Exactly. Yep. So it's basically an A85, which is just... Alright. We didn't get the 4AGE. Nothing like that. Well, we had the single overhead cam one, which is just... Alright. I don't know, don't get me wrong, AP, they're cool. If I found an 86 Corolla GTS, I would buy it. Oh, yeah. If I found one for the right price, I would buy it straight up. And we'd 4AGE swap that sucker. Absolutely. And I'm not going to sit here and even pretend like I wouldn't paint it two-tone black and white. No way. I'm not, dude, absolutely, obviously. I'm not even that big into Japanese cars, but it has to be done that way. Like, it has to. It's out of my control, you know? Hachiroku. Height. Yeah, that's right. Rob, A86s are nigh impossible to find, dude. So this is the thing. What's that, Thomas? What? What the frick is this? What is this? Oh no. What the hell? How long until we see you drop one of those Ford electric crate motors into something? The Illuminator? If we found the right car, Aqualux, I would. Actually, dude, if I was going to EV swap something, I would want to find the biggest, most obnoxious 1970s Ford sedan that I could possibly think of. I'm talking like LTD, station wagon, 6 miles to the gallon, and we'd put it in that. Just to confuse people, because how funny would it be to see this freaking like 4,000-pound sedan just booking around like a Tesla? That would be funny as hell. Like I'd do that. That'd be hilarious. Yeah, with like 2 tons of battery, exactly, bro. Take out the rear folding seats and just put battery packs over the rear wheels, and then just Rockford this damn freaking gigantic station wagon around. Like you go to drive it, the body roll would be like this, and you slide around on the bench seats. I'd do that. That would be hilarious. People would get so mad. That'd be fun. I would do that. I need you to tell me what you want. Meatball sub. What is this, Thomas? Hey, RT. Doug?
These days, it seems like everybody thinks they can be an astronaut. As someone who has actually been one, I'm here to ask you to not. You see, when I was up there looking back down on Earth, all I could really think about was, damn, I really miss beer. Physics makes it so we can't drink beer in space. The zero gravity prevents carbonation from rising, turning beer into a foamy mess. Houston, that sounds like a problem. So Busch Light hired me, retired astronaut Doug Hurley, to help beer share a case against space. Because we can't drink this up there, so let's preserve what we have down here in the great name of beer. For every case of Busch Light sold this April, they'll donate to One Tree Planet to help save our Earth so we can save our beer.
I'm going to buy Busch Light right now. That's awesome. Man, I really miss beer. Oh, God, that's funny, dude. Oh, it's Busch Light. Dude, you know, Ordon, you know what I like about Busch Light? Busch Light knows that it's Busch Light, all right? You don't drink it because you like the taste, all right? It's like the Ryanair or Spirit Air of airlines. Like, you go on Spirit Air and be like, excuse me, stewardess, may I have an in-flight meal? And the stewardess is going to look at you and say, what? It's Spirit Air, are you stupid? What's wrong with you? You paid like $10 for this ticket. Sit down and shut up. Right? It's like Bush knows. It knows. It's not like it's just Bush. It's just you don't drink this. You don't drink this because you like the taste. You drink it to get plastered, right? Like they know. That's why it's funny. In-flight meal? Get the frick out of here. Oh my God, that's funny, dude. I like it. I like it when they know. It's just like it's Busch Light. Just drink the stupid beer, all right? Like. Have I seen the TSMU engineering footage? Yeah, TJ, I have. Pretty cool, right? You don't drink Busch Light. You don't drink Busch Light because you like Busch Light. You drink Busch Light to get plastered. Like same reason why you drink PBR or Bud Light. Like you don't drink it to enjoy it. Please review and respond. I'm touching base. RE my request. Meatball subs are not an option. Oh. I need a cheesesteak with bacon. Yeah, steak and cheese with bacon. Primo, we need to do that. Steak and cheese with bacon, please. Yep. Add bacon. Well, okay, add bacon. Yeah, there you go. Is Bush the American equivalent of Bex? Yeah. Yeah, pretty much, Alex. Yeah. 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 You don't drink that to enjoy it. It's just not how that works. No onions? You can put onions on it. That'd be a good idea. Yeah, Heineken. Yeah, there you go. Wait, which steak and cheese? There's a bunch. Okay. Linux has the bug reporting tool. So okay, so number 17. Number 17 with bacon. That's what I need. Onions, peppers, American cheese. It's cheesesteak. Yeah, number 17 with bacon, please.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Yeah, that's what we want. JDG, 12-month resub. There you go. It's true, JSpeed, right? And a large soda. You want the peppers? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, do the It's not cheesesteak if you don't have the peppers on it. I don't know. Am I in a peppery mood, chat? Yeah, keep the peppers on there, Bree. Let's go. Let's go. Onion, peppers, bacon, steak and cheese. I'm in. Yeah, I'll eat that. Yeah, that's gonna get eaten. I might, fellas, to be fair, I might take a break to go get the sub with Brimo because I've been going for a little while. Got to break it up. Got to have some lunch, and then we get back and we play KSP. You know what I'm saying? Jersey Mike sponsors Team Liquid. Get yourself a Jersey Mike sponsorship too. Oh yeah. So what do you think? Yeah, it's not a bad idea, noteworthy. So what do you think? How would a spacecraft travel to Deb? A lot of Delta V, Yudi. Yeah, that's part of the reason why I built Triton. And to segue into like what we're gonna do in KSP today, I'm gonna start building out some gnarly transfer vehicles for Triton. Like, you know how we were building the transfer vehicles with the smaller lifters. Now I have a 10-meter fairing, so I could launch gigantic honking transfer vehicles. Yeah, that's the reason why I built Triton, kind of in anticipation for going and just absolutely decimating the solar system in Kerbin, being able to basically go anywhere. Eve landers, you know, Elu landers, stuff like that. Yeah, that's why I built that big honking launch vehicle. Do you want me to place it then? Yeah, place it right now, Bree. Let's go. I'll take a break. We'll go and get it. Could you chime in on this? It's going to take a lot more Delta V, Aqualex. That's a really quick way to say it. Live in Philly. Cheesesteak is a cheesesteak if it has steak and cheese. Onions and peppers are optional. And B-House, I always thought it was the other way around. Dude, up here they call it steak and cheese. I'm serious. And I fully acknowledge that that is the wrong answer. It's cheesesteak, but I still call it steak and cheese. Just kind of ingrained. Anyway. With fries and salad? Salad? Vegetables are what my food eats. Sun Temple. Cheesesteaks sound like cheesecake. Yeah. Placed. All right, no worthy, do it. Maybe it'll make, dude. Maybe if enough people do it, they'd be like, "Who the frick is this guy?" You know, we got a real Ron Swanson here. Yeah, I don't mind eating vegetables. Plants fill you up. Fun fact. So, you know, I'm not talking about just getting a steak. I want a steak with broccoli. You take the butter, your buttered steak, you take the butter and you put it on the broccoli. Some mashed potatoes. Boom. I'm in. But seriously though, plants fill you up. Take that into consideration. That was one of the things that like kind of clicked in my head. Like, okay, quick side note, like food note here for a second. That was one of the things that clicked in my head. Plants fill you up. And you know, if you eat them with your steak, it'll seem like you ate more steak. And it's good for you. Everybody wins. Cauliflower is good. Yeah. Delicious. And it fills you up. Like I said, broccoli, cauliflower, peas, carrots. Oh, yeah. Mix that in with the steak. And you make a nice shepherd's pie. You know what I'm saying? Now we're talking. Or just eat more steak. I mean, you could do that too. Sure. But if I don't eat the plants, I got more room for steak. I mean, I do like the way you think. You drive a hard bargain, Solaire. Yeah. You have a hard bargain. I do like steak. This windshield is dangerous and obstructive, but I do like Fig Newtons. With that being said, today is not a eat healthy day, but I do have vegetables on my sandwich, so. All right. So anyway, fellas, Bree and I just placed the order. Jersey Mike's a little ways away, so we're gonna go grab that, and I will be back to play Kerbal. Yeah? Is steak sauce a vegetable? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, give me about an hour. We'll pick up basically in about an hour. Yeah, about an hour. And then we'll get back to messing with Triton. We'll start making some cool stuff for it. Because Triton's working really well. That rocket is great. And we can work on optimizing the trajectory and whatnot, which is good. Yeah, that'll be fun. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in about an hour, give or take. And, yeah, we'll jump in and play some KSP. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the early stream. I'll see you in a little bit.